Today in the news, the FDA is closer to approving its first biosimilar, and nivolumab is exceeding expectations in non-small cell lung cancer. We offer a preview of presentations at the 2015 Gastrointestinal Cancers Symposium, and finally, we'll discuss a business deal that should further personalized cancer treatments. Hello and welcome to OncLive News Network. I'm Laura Jones.
And I'm Justin Gallagher.
Unlike generics, which simply must show bioequivalence to the active ingredient in a reference product, biosimilars have a greater complexity and require a series of testing to demonstrate quality, safety, and efficacy. The stepwise approval process for biosimilars makes receiving an FDA approval more time-consuming, costly, and challenging. Therefore, ODAC's unanimous vote in favor of approving EP 2006, a biosimilar version of filgrastim, is a huge triumph. The ODAC vote was based partially on data from the Phase 3 Pioneer trial, which demonstrated similar efficacy and safety of EP 2006 compared with U.S. licensed Neupogen in patients with breast cancer treated with myelosuppressive chemotherapy. Further, ODAC recommended the approval of EP 2006 for all 5 of filgrastim's authorized indications. The FDA accepted Sandoz application to market EP 2006 as a biosimilar of filgrastim in July 2014, making it the first drug to be reviewed under the new U.S. biosimilar pathway. Sandoz already manufactures a biosimilar version of filgrastim under the brand name Zarzio in more than 40 countries.
Dr. Suresh Ramalingam of the Winship Cancer Institute at Emory University explains that there are currently no effective treatment options for patients with refractory squamous cell lung cancer after their disease has progressed through 2 prior therapies. However, this situation may change based on recent data coming from the Phase 3 Checkmate 017 trial, demonstrating nivolumab's ability to improve overall survival in this patient population. Nivolumab, an anti-PD-1 immune checkpoint inhibitor, received its first FDA approval in December 2014 for patients with unresectable or metastatic melanoma. Though specific data has not been released from Checkmate 017, according to nivolumab's developer, Bristol Myers Squibb, this is the first time an anti-PD-1 agent has resulted in a survival advantage in lung cancer. These data build on the Checkmate 063 trial that showed encouraging results using nivolumab as a monotherapy in heavily pretreated patients with advanced squamous cell lung cancer.
There will be a great deal of cutting-edge and practical information coming out of the 2015 Gastrointestinal Cancers Symposium in San Francisco this week. We would like to share a few interesting studies. First, it appears that plasma vitamin D could become a useful prognostic marker for patients with newly diagnosed metastatic colorectal cancer. A prospective study found that patients with newly diagnosed metastatic colorectal cancer who had higher levels of plasma vitamin D measured at diagnosis lived a median of 8 months longer and experienced greater disease-free survival after their cancer treatment. Dr. Kimmy Ang from Dana-Farber explains that it is too early to recommend vitamin D as a treatment for colon cancer, but we do know that maintaining adequate vitamin D levels has other health benefits, such as for bone health. Randomized trials of vitamin D supplementation are warranted, and several are currently underway.
Looking at treatment approaches to rectal cancer, non-operative management is becoming increasingly accepted as an option worldwide, and data presented at the symposia provide support for this use of active surveillance as a viable alternative to immediate surgery. A retrospective review of clinical data found that patients with stage 1 through stage 3 rectal cancer whose tumors completely disappeared after treatment had similar 4-year survival rates, regardless of whether they had immediate rectal surgery or took a surveillance approach. These data continue to suggest that non-operative management does not compromise outcome, and that preservation of the rectum is achieved in a majority of patients. The study found that 74% of patients who did not have surgery had durable and sustained clinical complete responses. Additionally, avoiding rectal surgery can significantly improve quality of life and reduce risk complications such as impaired bowels and sexual dysfunction. To continue the assessment of this watch and wait approach, a prospective Phase 2 study recently began enrolling patients at 20 institutions across the U.S. In this new study, non-surgical management will be offered to patients whose tumors fully disappear after initial chemotherapy and radiation.
There may be another effective second-line option in metastatic colorectal cancer. The double-blind Phase 3 RAISE trial randomized patients with metastatic colorectal cancer to receive either ramucirumab plus FOLFIRI or FOLFIRI alone as a second-line treatment. The addition of ramucirumab resulted in significantly improved overall survival and progression-free survival. Tumor shrinkage and overall response rate were comparable between the two treatment arms. Still, the obvious survival benefits must be weighed against the increased incidence of grade 3 or higher adverse events with the ramucirumab combination, including neutropenia, hypertension, diarrhea, and fatigue.
Personalized medicine may take a huge leap forward with the assistance of Roche. Roche plans to acquire the majority of shares of Foundation Medicine, a 5-year-old company that developed an innovative DNA test to match patients to specific cancer drugs. Foundation Medicine found success primarily by growing adoption of its 2 full genomic profile assays, Foundation 1 and Foundation 1 Heme. These tests utilize next-generation sequencing to identify actionable molecular alterations in a patient's tumor. In 2014, physicians ordered over 24,000 Foundation 1 tests, which was a 167% increase over 2013. Daniel O'Day, Chief Operating Officer at Roche, described how combining Foundation Medicine's pioneering approach to genomics and molecular information with Roche's expertise in the field of oncology can bring personalized healthcare and oncology to the next level. The $1 billion deal is expected to close in the second quarter of 2015.
Next week, we will feature more exciting information from the 2015 Gastrointestinal Cancers Symposium, and we'll share a special clip from a Joan London interview on breast cancer. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Laura Jones.
I'm Justin Gallagher.
We'll see you next time.